So,
Test.
welcome to Dirty... What?
Sorry.
Nope.
Sorry. Go ahead.
Anybody?
Take two.
Last words? Anybody?
Yeah.
Everybody good?
Yep.
Hey. Yep.
Okay. Welcome to Dirty 20.
Oh, wait.
You motherfucker.
Take 3.
Okay. Welcome to Dirty 20, the podcast where we play 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. My name is Cole. I'll be the DM of this homebrewed campaign. We're kind of starting off by just making it up as we go. And by we, I mean me.
Hey, we're making stuff up too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
It's equally
Okay.
made up.
Speaking of you, let's introduce the players.
I'm Amber. I'm playing Oriana, a tiefling who is a Pact of the Tome warlock with an undying patron.
And I'm Adam, and I will be playing the part of Heki, who is a rock gnome wild magic sorcerer who is loosely based off my daughter and my bard in our other campaign.
And I am Pete, and I will be playing the role of Chrome Stormblessed, Goliath Paladin of Helm, Oath of the Crown, and seeking vengeance for the death of his clan members.
I guess we should say at this point that we have been playing together for...
2 years.
Yeah, something like that. So this is not our first time playing or our first time playing together, but we think we're pretty dope, so we wanted to make a podcast out of it.
And Pete is the DM for our normal campaign. This is my first time DMing, so I will be consulting with him for mechanics and rules from time to time. We're starting at level 3, and we're splitting the campaign into chapters. Each chapter will be recorded ahead of time before it's released. And when we're releasing a chapter, it will be about 2 weeks between episodes, and then there'll be a longer break between chapters while we record the next one. Okay, so I think that's everything you need to know up front, so roll music. Since this is just like a practice session, it kind of isn't going to matter. You're not going to get experience or any real rewards, and no matter what happens at the end of the session, at the beginning of actual session 1, you're starting where I say you're starting.
Yeah,
Got
this
it.
is basically a TPK like playthrough if we want to.
No. Okay, so I have your character sheets here, and I have my resources here. So, we open on our cast of characters. Interior, early morning, early afternoon, I don't know. It doesn't matter. You're in a bar. You're in a tavern in the port town of Cliff's End. Because, of course, you're in a tavern. It's smoky. Everybody's kind of grumpy because it's kind of early. And it's a port town. You're basically on the docks. And there's just like a few fishermen and dock workers in there. And you overhear a couple of the fishermen at a table kind of grumpily complaining about how shitty the fishing's been lately.
Who's the most arcane-looking person at this tavern?
Probably the tiefling that is sitting near you.
That's me.
I just start giving the tiefling a long stare and kind of loom.
I stare back. Like, what the fuck?
There seems to be a lot of romantic tension in the air.
Are you dressed in like a cloak that tells me exactly what, like deity you're a paladin for? Or I'm not sure
I have
how
a face
paladins
tattoo of a gauntlet over my left eye.
Also, he's a big motherfucker, and there's not many other big motherfuckers around.
work. Okay, so are we sitting at the same...
I'd say you're sitting in the same corner, maybe not at the same exact table since it doesn't seem like you know each other. The conversation between the small group of fishermen is beginning to get heated as one of them starts to complain, starts to yell about how he's packing up his family and getting the hell out of here, looking for greener grass, and a couple of the others are kind of harassing him about abandoning his hometown. They don't have names. They don't need names. At this point, it's getting pretty loud. And salty-looking dwarf fellow from another end of the tavern kind of stands up, and they're all talking about, like I said, how shitty the fishing's been lately, and how somebody's got to do something. And this dwarf stands up, ambles over to their table. He's like, all right, I've had it. I'm putting together a crew, and we're going to go fix whatever this problem is. And then the other people are like, great, good luck with that. Nobody's been coming back from the... Okay, so some slight backstory. Are any of you familiar with this town?
It's Cliff's
no.
End.
Not super familiar.
I might be. If it's a port town, I might be.
Okay, so Heki would probably know the very base level lore of this town is it's a port town with a fishing economy, and it's said that the original settlers found a magic runestone in a tidal cave at the base of the cliffs, which assured bountiful waters near the cliffs. But lately, nobody's been going over there because ships kept disappearing. All of the fishing boats kept disappearing when they would go over there. And so they've been kind of forced into the more barren waters that they don't normally fish, and so it's been having a bad impact on the economy. And this dwarf, I lied, he didn't stand up from a table. He burst through the door, and he said, the local lord has assigned me to take a ship and a crew and figure out what's going on. I need men.
I hop up. I'm a sailor.
You're hired.
I stand up and I'm like, I am not a sailor.
And he said, I'm going to need all types for this. If you'd like to earn a bit of the Lord's gold and go solve a mystery
If she's
and help
going,
out the
I'm
DM.
Following.
And be immortalized forever in this small town that you have never been to. Sounds good to me. Let's go.
Okay. All right. So through some undetailed negotiation, you three sign up as crew, and a couple of other non-important people as well. There's going to need to be some people to man the ropes and stuff while more exciting things might happen.
Oh, I thought that was Heki's job.
I'll do a little of the rope thing, but really, I'm kind of
I'm
the...
only lightly into bondage, so...
I mean, I've dabbled.
Okay. He says, we set out at 1 o'clock, which is in a couple of hours. And he gives you the location of the dock that you will be leaving from. Oh, and he introduces himself. His name is Arvin Flint Granite.
What's the boat name? The ship's name?
Fuck you, I don't know.
The lady.
Aboard the mighty fuck you, I don't know.
He actually doesn't have his own ship right now. He's taking...
The ship fucking has a name!
He's using one of the Lord's ships, which he... If the job is successful, that's his reward, is he gets the ship.
What's his name? Flint Rock?
Arvin Flint Granite.
Granite.
The ship is called the... Guys, I don't know. This is why for names and stuff I have to be more prepared. I have people names prepared. I have town names prepared. I didn't know that I would need ship names.
I have to admit that my primary formula for tavern names is the adjective animal.
The
Quizzical Aardvark.
The Slippery Eel is the ship name.
Hey, that's pretty good.
So, what are y'all doing in the time leading up to this?
Drinking. We're already here.
The tiefling is day drinking right before a mission.
I'm mad dogging the tiefling.
Okay, I walk up to you and I'm like, hey buddy, do we have a problem here?
Depends, what do you know of plague magic?
Not much.
Roll deception.
I don't know what plague magic is. Amber does not know what plague magic is.
In Oriana's research, she's probably come across it once or twice.
Okay, well, I rolled a 14.
Insight. That is an 18.
Okay, you get the sense that she's being mostly truthful, and not in a necessarily malicious way.
I sit down and continue to watch her drink.
Okay, I'm sitting across from you now, so I guess we're just staring at each other, silently drinking.
What's Hecky doing?
Breaking the awkward occasional silence. Take a sip.
So Crom's a big guy?
He's a Goliath, yeah.
Oh, well, yeah. Hecky
With a face
is
tattoo.
with a face tattoo. I am just in awe of your size, sir. You are a huge being.
This is also a predominantly human settlement, and as the hour or two passes, pretty much everybody who comes in freezes at the door and does a double take towards your table where there's a tiny man, a giant man, and a horned and tailed lady. And some of them kind of back out and decide to go to a different tavern, like, fuck this, not worth it. And others just kind of double take and then go to the bar.
More for me. Are you a dwarf?
I am a gnome.
Okay, so...
I'm
a
very small.
discount dwarf.
A trickster dwarf.
Do you have a really high voice?
I don't know how much you really want to work on a voice, but yes, in character, very high voice.
Okay.
You just need to write out a script and have one of your kids read it.
That's perfect. I just have like a soundboard.
We'll just record it and then, you know.
Amber will just auto-tune your
Yeah,
file.
yeah. Can't you just do this in post? But I like everything that's happening. I am in just complete awe of, because Hecky is somebody who enjoys life and everything. He finds magic in everything that he looks at.
Hecky's just swiveling his head back and forth and also up and down to see the two of you over and over, just kind of like a dog, like, who's going to toss me a treat? What's going to happen?
Treat. Someone mentioned treat. Hecky loves candy as well.
Hecky's probably unwrapping a hard caramel or two. Okay, I suppose the hours pass in silent stare-offs and excited head swiveling.
Puppy dogging.
And eventually one of the other guys who signed up glances through the window at the sun and is like, well, time to hit the old dusty trail, and starts heading towards the docks to meet up with Arvin.
I wait for the big guy to go first.
I stand up, I walk to the door, and I watch her and wait.
You stand by the door to make sure I go.
Okay, so you both kind of walk sideways towards the door, facing each other.
And like shuffle through at the same time.
I kind of like squish myself in between you two. I'm like, hey guys, let's walk all together. This is great.
We get caught in the door.
Well, this isn't awkward.
I can tell we're starting to be really fast friends.
I have a sense about these things.
As the Goliath and the Tiefling exit the tavern, there's a group of local boys right outside that were kind of like tossing some rocks around, and they just like and just take off, freaked out by the appearance of the giant and the horned lady.
Dumb humans.
They are small. They are foolish.
I think you're big. Not that they're small.
I think so too.
My Uncle Rodam is big. I am normal.
I'm bigger than both my uncle and my pop and my grandpop and my great-grandpop. I'm like the biggest for quite some time.
What is great-grandpop?
That would be like my dad's dad, or
How do you know he is taller? Have you measured his bones?
No, he's alive.
How?
We
He
know
didn't die.
Yeah, we gnomes. We live a long time. I'm 33, though.
I'm legal. Just throwing
How
that
are you the size of a child and yet almost twice my age?
Oh, a young whippersnapper.
Have you never met anyone outside your race, or what's going on here?
Well, the small men, I have met many of them. I have not met any of the extra small men, or the horned people.
Well, we horny folk, we're a fun bunch.
I do love your horns. They're amazing. Can I touch them?
No.
If you were to describe your horns based on an animal, what type of horns do you have? Are they like goat horns?
No, I know what I want to say, or I know what type. I just don't know what it's on. So
Ibex. It's an ibex.
Like a sheep, like a bighorn sheep, the spirally ones.
So basically like Tim.
yeah.
Yes.
Oh wait, maybe.
They call me Tim.
Tim.
But no, not like Tim. They're not curled. They're like straight up and spirally.
Ah.
Okay, kudu, not bighorn sheep. Are they like super tall like that?
Well,
Or are they like little petite kudu horns?
they're big enough to be intimidating, but not too big that it scares all the girls away. If you know what I mean?
Okay, how about this? I'm gonna flip this coin. If it lands on heads, you let me touch him. If it lands on tails, I won't do it. And I flip it. Ah, it's heads.
So that means you don't, right?
No, that means I do.
No, that means you don't, right?
Make a perception check.
What is perception? +1, so 15.
He flipped the coin and it did in fact land on heads.
Okay, now can I make an intimidation?
I suppose if you want to get into the inter-party conflict this soon, you can make an intimidation check.
That's how
There
we
won't
roll.
be any inter-party conflict unless he touches me, but I rolled a 6 for intimidation.
You said it, but you kind of tripped on some broken glass when you said it.
You'd have to climb me to be able to touch them.
I'm nimble. I climb the riggings of ships quite a bit.
Don't touch me.
Okay. I'll give you some candy instead.
You arrive at the docks. Please. And you see Arvin Flint Granite and the couple of other sailors that he's hired. They're getting the ship ready. It's a bigger than the average fishing boat around here, but it's not like a full-blown naval vessel or anything. There are no cannons. And he says, welcome aboard. And you, I assume, board the ship.
Wow, it's so good looking ship. I mean, look at the lines. It's got sails. There's ropes.
I very carefully kind of like edge like up and kind of like very carefully looking around the boat. Like I go to the biggest mast and I hold on to it for dear life.
Arvin looks between you and Hecky, and Hecky's rattling off all of the parts, and he's like, "You seem to know what you're talking about. You're a little." I'm not even gonna bother fucking doing voices for this session. I'll figure out the voices later. He's like, "You seem to know what you're talking about. If you're a little short, but hey, who am I to talk?" And assigns you to some ship stuff.
Okay.
For the journey.
Ship stuff. Do ship stuff.
Some rigging and sailing and scrubbing.
Other
stuff.
sailing words.
I'm a rigger.
I walk on, shrug, and then walk to the front. There's a word for the front of a ship, but I don't know what it is.
Bow.
Okay, there you go.
You notice that you kind of look like the wooden sculpture on the front of the ship.
I'm okay with it.
Alright, so y'all prepare the ship, set sail. The cliffs are kind of around... They're pretty nearby, that's why the town is called Cliff's End. So they're just kind of around the cove, or bay, or one of those words, to the, let's say, east. And you see, as you get farther out from the town, there's a lot of ships kind of heading, like south and west, or heading out and heading in south and west, and none of the sailors on them look particularly thrilled, and none of the nets look particularly full.
Did he tell us where we're going? Or was he just like, I have a mission, come with me?
Right. He tells you, as y'all are sailing, I suppose, basically what I mentioned that Hecky knew earlier, that there's been some sort of trouble in the normal fishing areas that has been causing ships not to return. And so all of the fishermen have been avoiding that area, but the town's economy is like taking a pretty heavy hit for it. And so the local lord has tasked him with figuring out what's going on and solving the problem.
So we don't actually know what we're going into. We're just blindly following this person.
Nope, he needed some suckers to get on his boat because he really wants this boat, and that's his reward.
Well, it is a nice boat.
Arvin, once the ship's kind of making way and it doesn't require quite as much fidgeting with, Arvin kind of makes his way over to Heki and says, "There's not many non-humans sailing these waters around here. What brings you over to these parts?"
Oh, I'm just traveling the world, trying to see what I can see. This town I'm about done with. There wasn't a whole lot here. But I liked it. It was great. I don't mean to insult it. I think that anybody could live here and be happy, and I'm sure that you're happy. I'm not saying that you're not happy.
He says, "Oh, I'm no local.
Oh, okay, thank goodness.
I've been trying to get my hands on my own ship so that I can go out and see the world."
Oh, that's awesome. I have also seen the world. Some of it.
You've seen it. You've seen it all.
Great swaths of it in the ocean and some towns.
You spend a bit exchanging towns, like, "Oh, you've been there, I've been there, that's a nice place," and "Oh yeah, that port sucks, so you should stay away from that," and talk such as this for a little bit. 30 minutes go by, and you see a ship in the distance that's it's in distress. There's a lot of yelling.
Like help yelling or like screaming at each other yelling?
Like help yelling / combat noises. And Arvin kind of jumps up to attention.
Can I like be like, "Hey, that they're loud over there"?
Sure, if you want to be the one that heard the things and saw the things. since you're being the deck ornament thing. What's the hood ornament on a ship called?
That's what it's called, a hood ornament. You got it. Got it in one.
Those things on the prow statues. Figurehead, that's the one, I think.
Nah, I like hood ornament.
Yeah.
Gonna say.
All right.
It's just like a Mercedes-Benz kind of thing right here, or
the slippery eel's hood ornament. You notice this ship in distress and bring it to the attention of the others. Arvin kind of jumps up to action, starts calling the men to their... He says stations, and you get the idea that maybe he was a Navy man at one point, but he's kind of like, there aren't really stations, there's definitely no cannons. It's kind of like pull the sail a few degrees to the side so that you move, if that's how they work. I don't really know anything about sailing.
Tack!
It's probably not a sail. Is there a rudder on a sailing ship? Probably.
Yes.
So he spins the wheel, and you start moving towards the ship, and they start messing with the sails so that you slow down as you approach. And I make a perception check.
All of us?
Yeah, everybody. Unless if Chrome is still tightly hugging
I'm still pretty tightly hugging the
Okay,
mast,
so you make yours with disadvantage.
the main mast.
I have a 12.
So that's a 5. I am watching my own hand gripping this mast because there's not supposed to be this much water.
Did you say a 5, a 9, and a 12?
Yeah.
Okay, so
We're really good on boats.
who got the 12?
I got the 12.
Okay, so you, from your position in the ropes, I suppose, you can see that there's some combat. There's more figures on the ship than you would expect for a ship that size, and you can tell that there's a combat with humans and some sort of non-humans.
I kind of shout that down to everybody, though, that there's some humans and non-humans fighting.
All right, so you rolled a 12 was the highest perception. So let's see. Wow! Okay, so even Chrome somehow notices because they rolled a 1 for their stealth. That as you get close to the other ship, you can hear the noise of a few figures kind of crawling onto your ship from the water. And as you look around, you see 5 medium humanoids that have humanoid torsos and very fishy lower halves crawling up onto the ship, and they're wielding spears. and they immediately begin to attack you, but they do not get a surprise round due to their horrible, horrible squelching noise and their shitty stealth rolls. So roll initiative.
17.
11.
What do you add to your initiative? Just your dex?
Dex plus other stuff if it's relevant, but usually not.
Okay, I rolled an 8 and my dex is 2. So is
So-
that it?
10.
Yep.
And I roll for them. Do they have any initiative thing? Dex is +1. Ooh! Wow! They rolled a 1 for their stealth, and they rolled a 20 for their initiative.
They're really loud, but they're fast.
Yeah, they did. I mean, you didn't know they were there until you definitely knew they were there, but they already had a little bit of a jump. Okay, so Oriana's at the front of the ship. Chrome is tightly hugging the mast. And Heki, are you like up in the ropes or?
I'm up in the ropes, but near the front of the ship.
Okay, so we'll say 3 of them came in near the like on the main area, midsection of the ship, and 2 of them are near the front. So one of the sailors, Arvin kind of yells at one of them to take the wheel and hold the ship steady while he draws his sword and jumps down to join into the action. And let me think about this. The wheel would be at the back, so he jumps to the midsection. So the 2 at the front, one of them is going to run up and take a stab at Oriana with his spear. So that, I believe, does not hit because he rolled a 4 total.
No, he does not hit.
The second one that climbed up the front is going to run over to Heki and try to grab him and pull him off the ropes. So that's just a strength check for the grapple, I think.
Roll strength, athletics, or acrobatics to avoid the grapple.
Yeah, I was thinking about saying acrobatics instead. Roll strength or acrobatics.
Well, if it was strength, I rolled a 2, and strength is -1, and acrobatics is +3, so I think really none of it matters.
So you had a 2 + 3 with acrobatics?
Yeah.
Well, he rolled a 2 + 0.
Oh!
So
Woohoo!
you...
Just still slimy. They're like extra slimy today for some reason.
These are not... They all kind of... They're not on their best day. They look pretty hungry, like they've been driven out of their normal fishing area too. Okay, so that was those 2. So then 2 of them are going to run up to Chrome, since he's the biggest threat. So they will each make an attack. That is a 16 and an 11.
I'm 19, baby.
All right, so
Damn.
Wow.
0 for
All
4
day.
so far. And then the 5th merfolk is going to run up to the sailor, who is going to have probably commoner stats. Let me see.
Poor guy.
Sucks to be a plebe.
Commoner's 0. Okay, I'll give him a guard stat. So it, at least being somewhat nice. So he has some armor class. And the merfolk rolled... Oh my god, I'm not using this dice anymore. That's another 2.
Please keep using that dice.
Okay, so that is 0 for 5 for the merfolk. Top of the initiative is Heki.
All right. So I will spend a sorcery point and cast Firebolt at like 2 of the nearest guys.
Twinning.
Yes, twinning. I'm twinning the spell.
So, what's the radius on that?
It's ranged 120 feet.
Oh, never mind, not radius. Sorry, you're casting a single target but twinning it.
Yeah.
Okay, and how far apart can things be before you for you to still hit them? Do they just have to both be within range of you?
They would both have to be. It's basically like he's firing one with each hand.
Okay, then yeah, I'd say you could fire the one right next to you, and then the one that's next to Oriana. The other 2 may be a little bit too low for you to, or the other 3 may be a little bit too low for you to get a line of sight on them.
Gotcha. Okay. Do I roll 1d10 for both of them, or should I roll separate d10s?
We'll roll separate attacks and then separate d10s.
Okay. So separate attacks. It'd be a spell attack, eh?
Yep.
Okay, so that's a 3 + 5 and an 11 + 5. So 8 and 16.
Their AC is 11, so I'd say the one nearest you is probably the one that you hit, since he's, like, very close. So that does what now?
That does
1d10 fire.
Yeah, 8 fire damage. And then I bust out some candy because I'm nervous.
Oh, wait, how much damage did you say that was?
That was 8.
Okay,
He's dead.
not quite.
Dang.
He does look like he is very upset about that, though.
Hey!
And that's not since that's an attack, it's not a half damage on the missed one, right? It's just missed.
That's right, it's just missed.
Yeah.
Okay. So you cast your spell and you twinned it. Did you want to do anything else?
Yeah, that's kind of it. I'm just using my bonus action to eat some candy.
Okay. Next in the order is Chrome.
All right. Let's lay down some hurt.
So you have one on each side of you, pretty much.
I'm going to pick the one on the right. I'm not going to go big. So yeah, I'm going to pick the one on the right and just hack at him with the axe.
Okay.
As I begrudgingly let go of the mass with my other hand. That is a 19 to hit.
That hits.
Alrighty. That is 8 slashing damage.
Nice.
He does not look happy about that.
Oh, I forgot to ask about the wild magic surge.
Is that it for your turn?
Yeah, and Wild Magic Surge only happens if you cast a leveled spell. I don't think it triggers on cantrips.
So that brings us to Oriana.
Okay. So there's one near me, like within melee range.
Yeah, he came up and jabbed at you.
Okay, what's a melee weapon? Because I don't have any weapons laid out that I have.
I think as a warlock, you're proficient in simple weapons, so like
Yeah.
clubs and daggers.
Okay, so dagger's good. So I take a dagger and attack the guy who just attacked me, or tried to attack me. And I got a 19 without stuff, so I think that's gonna hit.
Okay, so I just need to figure out what the dagger stuff would be.
It's a D4.
What do you... No.
D4 plus dex.
It says... Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I want to cast Inflict Wounds, but it says I have to be within melee range.
Okay.
So I'm not daggering him. I was just making sure. And then, as a side note, I don't have simple weapons. What's a simple weapon? So that was my bad.
Okay, so you're casting a spell.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's 3d10 necrotic damage plus 1d10 if I cast it at level 2, which I'm told that's what I should do, right?
Well, you only can cast it at level 2.
Okay, cool.
Everything you cast is level 2.
So I do 4d10 damage.
I think it's 2d10 for base level and then another d10.
It's 3d10 at base level.
Oh, damn.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
damn.
4d10 necrotic damage.
So that's 13 plus 10. So 23 on my first hit.
Okay. He is extra dead.
First blood! Cool. Who is the closest baddie to me?
Now that one's gone, it would be the one that's kind of standing under Heki on the same level as you.
Okay. Can I cast a cantrip as a bonus action?
If you have a cantrip that says its cast time is a bonus action, then you could do that. Otherwise, no.
Okay. Can I walk over to him, to get close enough to flank him with Heki? I know he's under him, but if the bad guy is looking up at Heki, then I theoretically should be able to come in behind him.
Yeah, I mean, unless you roll stealth, you wouldn't be unnoticed, but you could walk over next to him.
Okay, so can I roll stealth?
Yes, with disadvantage. You're in middle of the day on a ship with nothing to really hide behind.
That's fair. 18.
Okay, and his perception is a 6. So he does not know.
No, you said disadvantage, not advantage, right?
Right.
Okay, so that's a 1.
Okay. So he does notice you.
Okay, fine.
He is acutely aware that you are there.
Okay, that's
You
fine.
barely made it over there.
Okay.
Okay. That brings us to Arvin. So he is going to pull out a scimitar, because that seems like a sailor-y weapon.
Cutlassy.
Yeah. He's going to multi-attack the one that's attacking the other sailor guy. First attack is definitely a hit. Second attack is also definitely a hit. So that is 1d6 plus 3. That's 7 damage for the first hit, and 4 damage for the second hit, which is just enough. So that merfolk goes down, and now Arvin and the other sailor both turn towards the two merfolk that are on either side of Chrome.
How many total are left?
There are 3 left, but as this second one goes down, make perception checks.
That's a whopping 5.
11.
9.
So 11 to beat. It worked last time. It might work again. No. So, yep. Combat's happening. Y'all saw 2 of these guys go down. And now that brings us to the other sailor. So he's also going to move up to the one on Chrome's. It'd be Chrome's right. So now that one had already taken some damage. So he's going to attack it. And he has, what, a guard, I said?
Yep.
Yeah, so he gets...
It's got like a harpoon or something.
Yeah. So plus 3 to hit. That is not enough. So he spears at it, but he's doesn't have the greatest sea legs, and he misses. So that brings us back to the top with the merfolk. So the one that is kind of under Heki is going to turn now that he definitely saw Oriana come up to him, and he is going to spear at Oriana. So that is plus 2 to hit. Nope. It whiffs it. And then each of the ones on either side of Chrome are going to attack. So the one that you hit before only rolls a 7. And the fresh one rolled a whopping 12.
Can't touch this.
And now you hear more squelching noises as 2 more merfolk crawl up onto the back, kind of behind Arvin and his sailor, and then 2 more crawl up onto the front.
Where I killed the other guy?
One of them is over by the dead one, and then the other one's crawling onto the other side, so he's kind of under Heki also, but on the other side of Heki, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Alright. They are going to also make attacks. So the first one is going to attack at Oriana. That is a non-nat 20.
It doesn't hit.
I don't believe you.
Okay.
That is 5 piercing damage that you take.
Okay, I have a question about reactions. Do I still have to use it on my turn, or can I use it once I take damage?
You can use a reaction in anybody's turn in the round.
Okay, so one of my active features is that I can cast Hellish Rebuke as a reaction. So I want to do that.
At what level?
At 2nd level.
It's 2d10 fire damage dex save. Plus another d10 for bumping it a level.
So a dex save, which for the merfolk is... he has a +1. So his dex save is 13.
Aha! My DC is 14.
Alright, so he takes full damage.
Cool. Okay, 17 plus 3 is 20.
Okay, he is vaporized.
Nice.
Second blood!
I believe as a tiefling at 3rd level you can do it once a day as a racial ability, so you don't have to burn your other spell slot.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's a long rest. Yeah.
Yeah, once per long rest.
Yeah.
Let's see, that was number 6, I believe.
Okay, can you clarify that was the one that just came over the edge? Okay.
That was the one that came over the edge by the other dead one and stabbed you. So now there are 2 dead bodies over there. Well, there's a dead body and a pile of ash over there.
Okay, so it wasn't the one that climbed over the edge that is under Heki.
Right. There's still 2 under Heki, kind of on either side of him, but under him.
Okay.
One of them is the one that attacked towards you but missed at the beginning of the round. Oh, and then the other one's the one that just crawled up. And that one now is going to jab a spear up at Heki.
Can I use a reaction to cast shield?
If you have shield, yeah.
Yeah.
If that's a thing that you have.
It is. So
what does that do?
that gives me a +5 to my AC.
Okay. And what does that bring your total to?
My total is
Never
now
mind, doesn't matter.
18.
He rolled a 5, so does not hit.
Although roll wild magic now.
Yeah. Do I roll wild magic?
Sure.
A 15.
It only works on a 20, right? Or a 1?
A
It's
1.
a d20, it's a 1, yeah.
Okay.
You roll a d20, if you get a 1, it's...
You would roll a 1, then I would roll a d100 if you rolled a 1, right?
Yeah.
Alright. So, doesn't happen. So now the two that are behind Arvin and the other sailor are gonna jab at each of them. So the one attacking Arvin rolls a 15, and his armor class is 15, so that just hits. So he takes 1d8, which is a 6. He kind of winces as the spear jabs into his back, though. And then the other one is going to attack the sailor, which does not hit. These guys, like I said, they're not on their game today. So that brings us to Heki.
I guess I'll cast Frostbite at the new guy who showed up underneath me. So that's 1d6, which is 6.
Con save is +1. What is your DC?
My DC
It's
is
probably not that high.
13.
He rolled an 18.
Son of a b.
So is that half damage?
I think most cantrips are no damage on a successful save.
So does it just freeze him?
Since he made a saving throw, it doesn't do anything.
He's a little chilly. He's covered in cold goo now.
Alright, so anything else on your turn?
Nope.
So Chrome, now it's you.
Alright. Well, not to be outdone, I'm going to imbue my axe with a thunderous smite, and then attack the healthy guy that's next to me. The fresh one. So that is a 24 to hit.
That definitely hits.
Takes 10 slashing damage plus 5 thunder damage, and he has to make a strength save or be pushed 10 feet away.
He is blown off the edge in a very dead crumple.
Yes!
Heap.
Home run!
Not even the Windhelm scream, it's just dead.
He's just Fusro dead.
Yeah. Alright, is that your turn?
Yeah, because that's my action and my bonus action.
Okay, so Oriana.
Okay, so I have a question about the Indoctrine in Death. So it says, the first time a creature dies within 30 feet of you, you regain one of your Warlock spell slots if you have expended any.
Yep.
But we said that I could choose whenever I did that.
Well, that was before I knew that all of your spell slots are the same, so it doesn't matter now. As long as you've used a spell slot, then whenever something dies around you, you'll get one back once per rest.
Okay. So I basically expended 0 spell slots.
Yeah, you just get it back.
Okay. So there's 2 under Heki still. There's the regular one that can't hit me, and then the one that's cold.
Yeah, there's one that's looking at Heki and one that's looking at you.
Okay. I guess I'm just gonna cast Inflict Wounds again on the one that's looking at me.
Okay. Melee spell attack.
Do I do the ability modifier or is it an attack modifier?
It'd be your spell attack modifier.
Okay, so that's a 9.
So 15?
No, that's a 9.
Oh, 9 total. Okay, nope, does not hit.
Okay, and I can't attack on a bonus action?
No. So you reach out to inflict wounds with the palm of your hand and your fingertips, and he just kind of flops to the side and dodges it.
Okay. There's no one behind me, right?
Nope, there's a dead body and a pile of ash behind you.
Okay, then I just want to dash, 10 feet away to where he has to move away from Heki to get to me if he
You will
wants to
take
attack me.
a attack of opportunity in order to do this. Which historically, they've not been hitting any of their attacks, but...
I can't even cast a cantrip on a bonus action.
Nope.
Unless you have a bonus action cantrip.
Oh yeah, we literally said this the last time.
Yep.
This was established.
Okay, then I guess I stay there and do nothing.
Okay. So then that brings us to Arvin, who is going to turn since you already disposed of the one he was rushing towards, and multi-attack the dude that stabbed him in the back, +5. So that's a 16. That hits. That is 5 damage. And then his second attack hits and does 8. With 2 quick slashes of his cutlass, he cuts down another merfolk. And now he turns, once again, deciding that the big guy's got that, he turns and goes to help his hired sailor. His normal-sized hired sailor. And then the hired sailor sees what Chrome did to that fish man and turns towards the guy behind him also. And he is got guard stats, so he will make 1 harpoon attack, which is a non-nat 20. And that does 1d6 + 1. So 4 damage. That's his turn. Brings us back to the merfolk. So starting towards the top. Yep, that one's gonna stab at you again, Oriana. He jabs at you with a 13.
Aw, my thing is 12.
That is an 8. You take 8 piercing damage. And then the one on the other side is going to jab up at Heki again. He's getting kind of frustrated, like stabbing through the gaps in the rope, trying to hit this small target. And that is a 8.
Does not.
Does not. He's getting very frustrated now.
Do you still have your shield up?
No, that's only lasts 1 round.
The merfolk next to Chrome, after seeing what just happened to his friend, is going to turn and try to run and jump off the edge of the ship, invoking an attack of opportunity by both Chrome and the sailor.
That is a measly 12.
That is enough to land a hit on these guys.
Hey, a measly 12 would be enough to hit me, so...
That's a whopping 7 slashing damage.
So he takes 7 from you, and then the guard rolled a 10 plus 3, so he hits also for 3.
3 damage?
Yep. So this merfolk just barely, like bleeding profusely, manages to dive over the edge of the ship into the water. And seeing this, the one that's on either side of Arvin and the sailor is also going to do the same. The sailor already used his reaction for the opportunity attack, so Arvin will get 1. So yeah, that's just enough. And he does... That is a 1, so that's 4 damage. So yep, that one gets away too.
Which side are they on?
They jumped off the side that Heki is on. You're kind of in the middle right now. And they're as far as front and back, they were towards the back of the ship. So that brings us back up to Heki.
Okay. So there's only 1 left on the ship?
There's the 2 below you.
Okay.
The one that was stabbing at you and the one that was stabbing at Oriana.
Alright. So I will cast Firebolt at the one who's stabbing at me. So that's a ranged attack. 12 plus 5, so 17.
That hits.
Alright. So that is a D10, which is 3. You're welcome, everybody.
All right. You get a little bit of smell of cooked fish, but he's looking relatively okay.
And this concludes Heki's turn.
Then it is now Chrome's turn. So you'll have to run. It's not a very big ship. You're probably about 25 feet away from the 2 at the front.
Alright, then I will run towards the least injured one.
That's the one that just got singed.
And I will give it a whack. That's a 16.
That hits.
That's a whopping 6 slashing damage.
Okay. He's still standing.
Yup.
He does not look happy, though.
No bonus action.
Alright, that brings us to Oriana.
Okay, are both of them within 10 feet of me?
Yeah, they can be. They're kind of next to each other under Heki, so yeah. One's like within melee range, and then the other one's like right on the other side of him.
Okay, I would like to cast Arms of Hadar. Tendrils of dark energy erupt from you and batter all creatures within 10 feet of you. Each creature in that area must make a strength saving throw. On a failed save, a target takes 2d6.
Okay, this will
damage.
affect Heki and Chrome, by the way.
Well, I hope you make your failure saves. A target takes 2d6 necrotic damage and can't take reactions until its next turn.
Are you casting this at second level?
Yes.
Then that's 3d6. Okay. So strength save against what? 13?
It's my spell save, right?
Spell save DC, yeah.
Yeah, so 14.
14.
Ooh.
Strength save 17.
I'm going to use my Tides of Chaos to gain advantage on this.
The nearest one makes a save, and the other one does not.
I got a 9.
3d6 is 15. On a failed save, a target takes 3d6.
Doesn't matter. They're both dead. Half damage was enough.
Okay, perfect. Yay!
But did I take damage?
What did you roll?
A 9.
Yeah, that'll be full damage.
So 15.
Well, thank you.
Sorry, bud.
You are out of combat, and as you look over, the other ship seems to have gotten its situation under control. There's a couple of injured sailors on the ground, but they kind of wave at you and start sailing back towards town.
That's it?
That's it.
Oh, wait, they start sailing back towards town, not
Yeah.
us.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, just all three of you roll insight.
Nat 1.
That'd be a 11.
Not nat 20.
Okay. Oriana kind of gets the idea that these were more of like merfolk pushed out of their zone, not really like it doesn't seem like they were specifically out here trying to. You get the sense that they're not the
Scavengers.
problem. Yeah.
Okay. Obviously, these guys, with as bad as they're fighting, like, they can't be the reason that the fish aren't showing up or whatever.
I agree, Arvin says. Our job's not done here.
Perfect. I need to take a short rest because I have no spell slots.
Yeah, I need to take a short rest because I have less than half of my hit points.
Oh yeah, me too. That too.
I would like to go up to Heki, and I would like to spend 5 points healing him.
Hey, can I get some of that?
I thought you didn't know plague magic.
Well, I don't know a lot. There's a lot that I could learn, you know. I don't know half as much as I could know.
Just like as a curiosity, does Chrome consider any necrotic magic as plague magic?
But he's not very trained in the arcane, so probably we consider all necrotic magic plague magic.
Gotcha. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 dead merfolk on the ship. Well, there's more like 5 dead merfolk and 2 piles of ash.
I investigate the piles of ash. No, I'm kidding.
You kind of poke around at the merfolk who still have bodies, and they smell bad. They seem kind of haggard. There's not much there.
Can I tell if they would taste good cooked? I mean, they're basically fish, right?
They're considered humanoids, and it's
Okay,
not a
fair
very...
enough. I take it back.
Taboo.
Arvin kind of looks at you with some worry. He's like, well, I guess beggars can't be choosers when it comes to crew for possible suicide mission. Okay, so you start sailing again, kind of kick the bodies overboard. I'll go ahead and say that you take a short rest on the way.
All right.
So you're really not going to give me that healing? Nothing?
You lied. You know plague magic.
I didn't say I didn't know it. You are way too literal, buddy. You and we're going to have some communication issues. I can already tell.
What is buddy?
You are my buddy. Congratulations.
You don't seem like you're that smart, big guy.
Don't insult him.
I'm not
You
insulting.
don't seem like you're that strong, small one.
I am not
Zing.
at all. Two truths spoken here.
Okay, for my short rest, I want to use all of my hit dice, my 3d8. That's how that works, right?
Yeah, just keep track of it. I'm trusting you guys to keep track of your, like, sorcery points and paladin stuff, and...
Yeah.
Okay, so y'all have taken your short rest. The ship keeps on moving. Everybody, as you finish your short rest, make a wisdom saving throw.
11. Again, every saving throw has been an 11.
9.
13.
As you're kind of finishing up this short rest, you're getting closer and closer to these cliffs, and there's a few, like, big rock formations jutting out of the ocean. And you all hear this noise that starts off kind of distant, and it's a noise that's kind of like a bad smell, where you get a whiff of it, and then you know it's bad, but you kind of want to smell it again. It's like that in noise form. And Chrome and Arvin kind of get a glazed look in their eyes. And Chrome lets go of the mast and moves towards the front of the ship. And Arvin, who's at the wheel, starts to turn the ship towards some of these rocks.
Can I insight to see if I know if these are sirens?
Yeah, me too.
Make a nature or arcana check.
15.
15.
Okay, you've both... Wait, did you do nature or arcana?
I did arcana.
I did arcana as well.
Okay. You've both at least heard tales of harpies. These bird ladies who lure travelers to their doom using charming songs.
Okay, as soon as I put 2 and 2 together, I'm gonna grab some rope and try and wrap it around the two of them tied together.
Okay, they're on opposite ends of the ship.
That's what I mean. I'm gonna grab some rope and then bring them to the middle. Since you're here, I can say, like, Hecky, go get the other guy, the, like, main guy who's steering the ship, and make him stop driving us to our doom, and I'll try to handle the Goliath.
Got it! And I kind of run off.
Okay, and the other hired sailor is kind of like, what do I do?
Take over the wheel, and don't just, like, make us stay still, or don't go towards the sound. So I go up to Chrome, and I, like, wrap because, like, they're in a trance, basically, right?
He must move on his turn towards the harpy in the most direct route. That's all it says. I would say he can still kind of...
Fight me?
Yeah, if he has reason to. It's not like he's charmed to the point of he's working on the harpy's side. It's just like his entire existence right now is get to that song, like the source of that song. So like he's like leaning at the front of the ship, wanting to be as close as he can to the noise.
Okay, can I cast Minor Illusion and create the sound where I want them to go in the middle of the ship?
Make an Arcana check.
19.
Making an illusory sound may mimic the actual acoustic quality, but it will not convey any of the arcane properties.
Blech. Okay, then I just go ahead and, like, wrap the rope around him and tie it to, like, the closest mast, I guess, in an attempt to pull him back.
Okay, you'll have to try to physically drag him away from the noise towards the back of the ship.
I understand.
So that will be a strength contest.
Okay. Well, my strength is -1, so unless he gets a 1, I'm pretty much fucked.
Okay, well, you could roll high and he can roll low.
Okay, so strength contest against a Goliath. Here we go. 13.
22.
You're pulling, he's so big, though. He's not budging.
Is there any way I can, like, kick the back of his knees and make him, like, not be standing?
That'd
be the same deal. It'd be a push.
Okay.
Yeah, you attempted all of those things in that check, pretty much. All right. Meanwhile, Hecky and Sailor Boy are running back to the wheel where Arvin is currently steering you into the rocks.
Arvin! And I just slap him as hard as I can.
He does not notice.
Well, I was hoping that would shake him. I shake him.
As you get closer to the rocks, because it is moving towards damaging terrain, he will get to repeat his saving throw. And I would say probably Chrome would be too, since he's like watching this dangerous terrain come towards him. And Arvin succeeds. He kind of shakes his head and blinks. And he's like, oh shit! And he starts spinning the wheel as quickly as he can, and he starts barking out orders to rearrange the sails or something, however ships work. Basically, it's like, pull the E-brake, we gotta turn.
That's a 15 for my whiz save.
That is successful. So everybody is now immune to the song for 24 hours. And as the ship begins to turn, you all see two feathery shapes take flight from the rocks and head your way.
Once Chrome turns around, I say, "You're welcome for saving your life," and walk away.
I just kind of look nonplussed.
What's everybody doing as these shapes are moving towards you?
I question Arvin. I'm like, "Hey, where are we going in case something
He's
like
like,
that happens again?"
he barks at you. He's like, "Not now! I need to get this ship around these rocks." And he's got the sailor guy also running around with the ropes, and he's telling Heki to do things involving ropes and rigging and sails and rudders. He kind of like leans over the side of the wheel to look ahead, and he notices the shapes flying towards you. He's like, "If you want to help, keep those things off of us."
Do I see them and or know what they are?
I mean, since you knew the Harpy song, you could intuit that they are.
They didn't fly away. They're flying to attack.
Yeah,
us.
they saw that the ship is no longer coming towards them, and so they're coming out to you.
Okay, so before we get into combat, can I cast Eldritch Blast?
At the Harpies?
Yeah.
I would say you can prepare the action for when they get in range.
Okay, cool.
And if anybody else, well, I'd say unless Heki is ignoring his orders, he's busy in the rigging, and Chrome can prepare an action, although he won't have the range that you have.
Heki's not one to ignore orders.
Am I within 60 feet of Heki?
Yeah, probably. Like, the whole ship's probably like 60 or 80 feet.
I will call upon the blessing of Helm to shield the small man in this hour of battle. I will cast Shield of Faith.
Thank you.
All right, so what does that do?
He has +2 to his AC as long as I maintain concentration.
What's the duration of that, as long as you get to concentrate on it?
10 minutes as long as I maintain concentration.
And that's a +2?
Yeah, +2 to AC.
And it only affects him, or it affects you as well?
Only him.
All right, so
And I can only put up one of them at a time.
Arvin and Heki and the sailor are busy doing things, and the Harpies about now get to within range for the Eldritch Blast.
Can I yell at Chrome to get a spear to throw, since he's obviously a melee character off of, like, one of the mermen that we probably kept?
I have a few javelins in my pack.
So would you like to prepare a javelin action?
Sure, though mine's way closer. 30 feet is the effective range.
All right, so they're about 120 feet away. Which one are you going to Eldritch Blast?
The one on the right. I don't know. That is a 23 to hit.
That will hit.
That's a 7.
7 damage. Is there any secondary effect to that?
Nope. Ranged 1d10, force per beam, 1 beam.
So you can see that it hits, but it doesn't seem to do a lot to the Harpy on the right, and they keep coming. They get up to the ship, and they split up to go to either side, and they're now flying within 30 feet of the ship on either side.
So when one gets within 30 feet, can I huck a javelin?
Yes, you can.
Alright. Hucking javelin. That's a 13 of hucking a javelin.
That will hit.
Hey.
Ah! Schwiggity schwo.
They do not have high ACs. They have much lower ACs than I would have expected.
That's a whopping 4 piercing damage, though.
Alright, were you throwing it at the same one that she had already hit?
Whichever one got closest to me first.
I mean, they were kind of like parallel, and then they split up, so
I'd probably pick the opposite one from her, then.
Okay, so you said 4 damage?
Yeah, 4 piercing.
Okay, now I'd say everybody roll initiative. Heki.
I crit failed.
Alright, yeah, you'll go ahead and be in the initiative. You'll just, if you want to take an action, you'll have to try to get the other sailor to cover for you for what you're doing, or... by this time, the ship's pointed in a safe enough direction. Like, you may be off course if you don't tend to the things, because you won't be, like, circling around the rocks, but you're at least not pointing towards them now. So,
Okay.
if you want to do combat stuff. Alright, so what's everybody's initiative?
Mine's a 9.
14.
1.
And then Arvin and the sailor are going to be busy for at least a round, so they won't be in the initiative yet. Okay, so first up is Harpy 2, which is the one that was Eldritch Blasted. So it is going to swoop down and multi-attack Oriana, since she's the closest. 11 for the first attack.
Doesn't hit.
And 22 for the second attack.
Doesn't hit.
I don't believe you. So you take a whopping 4 bludgeoning damage.
Okay, so I have an opportunity attack.
Yeah, it's gonna swoop away from you as it came in and multi-attacked, and then it's gonna swoop back away from you, so you'll get an opportunity attack.
Okay, so that's a 20, not nat.
Okay, that will hit.
And it's just 1d4.
1d4 slashing. Plus your strength, I think, if you have a bonus.
I have no negative strength. So is it minus strength?
Okay, so yeah. So plus proficiency minus strength.
Okay, so 3 plus 2 minus 1, so 4.
Alright. Next in the order is Chrome.
All right, so that one, the other one's still hanging out outside of melee range.
Yeah, right now. It's hovering about 20-ish feet away.
Are they both within 30 feet, or no?
Yeah, because you're kind of like almost back to back with Oriana, and the other one's only about 20 feet away from her. In opposite directions.
I will channel divinity, and I will champion challenge them, which means they make a wisdom save.
Can you do this while keeping up your concentration?
Oh, yeah, it's channel divinity. It's a non-spell thing.
Okay, so they make wisdom saves?
Yeah, they make wisdom saves. DC 12.
Alright. Harpy 1 succeeds. Harpy
damn.
2 does not.
Alright, so Harpy 2 is unable to move more than 30 feet away from me willingly.
Okay, that is the one that is on Oriana's side, by the way.
Okay. So it can't retreat further than 30 feet away from me by its own will. It can be knocked by effects, but it can't choose to leave until I die. Or at least I'm unconscious. So that was a bonus action for the channel divinity. And then as my action, I will huck an additional javelin at the harpy that I hucked a javelin at earlier. And that's a net 1.
That will not hit, unfortunately.
What?
Fight, you cowards! As I then, plunge it into the deck.
So that brings us to Oriana.
Okay, I would like to cast the cantrip Chill Touch. You create a ghostly skeletal hand in the space of a creature within range, 120 feet. Make a ranged spell attack, including spell attack bonus, to assail it with the Chill of the Grave. I rolled 19 plus 6 to hit.
I think that will hit.
On a hit, the target takes 1d8 necrotic damage, and it can't regain hit points until the start of your next turn. So 1d8 is 5.
And you're targeting the one that you hit earlier?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your turn. That brings us to Harpy number 1 on Chrome's side. It is also going to swoop in and multi-attack at Chrome. 16.
19.
Second attack at less than 16. So it will frustratingly fly back to 20 feet, so you get an opportunity attack.
Alright. I'm a whack it. So that's a 17 to hit.
That hits.
And I'm going to burn my last spell slot for a smite. They're not considered fiends, I presume?
They are not. They're monstrosities.
Alrighty. So that is a whopping 5 slashing plus 11 radiant. So 16.
Ooh.
It is very not happy as it screeches, flaps away from you.
Real quick, I know that they're on opposite sides, but how close are they to each other?
They'd be about 40 feet from each other.
Okay.
Although after taking the whack that one just took, it kind of flew off to the side a little bit rather than straight back. So, but they're still roughly 40 feet from each other.
Okay.
Alright, so it is Heki's turn.
All right, finally. So, I am going to use another sorcery point to twin cast Chromatic Orb at the two harpies. So that's a range attack, and I'm attempting it at the second level. So that's 4d8 if it were to hit. Lightning damage. That's a 19 and an 8.
The 19 hits, the 8 does not.
4d6. That's 10, 15, 18.
The one that hit is looking pretty rough.
Well, did he hit A or B or 1 or 2?
He hit 2.
Okay, cool.
And then can I roll a wild surge?
Okay, so I wouldn't have you roll this time, because that would be handing you back your Tides of Chaos immediately. I don't want it to be like you get wild magic happening every turn.
Right.
So anything else you're doing?
I just kind of fade back a little bit further, so I'm not rushed by either one of them.
Okay, right now you're kind of between the helm where Arvin is and Chrome and Oriana.
Okay, so I head towards Chrome and Oriana, but being sure to stay far enough away from Oriana that I'm not going to get pummeled.
Outside of 10 feet.
Yeah, I'm not going to get pummeled again by some scary tentacles.
Okay, I'll say you're about 15 feet away from them. And that brings us back to the top of the order with Harpy number 2, who is going to swoop down and attack Oriana again. First attack is a non-nat 20. That is 6 slashing damage. And then the second attack is a non-nat 21. So 3 bludgeoning damage. And then she's going to swoop away and back a little bit. So you'll get another opportunity attack.
Can I cast a spell as an opportunity attack?
Only if it has a cast time of a reaction.
Okay, so 19 plus 1. 3 plus 2 minus 1. 4.
That was Harpy number 2, right? Yeah, Harpy number 2 drops dead to the deck.
Nice.
That was... So next in the order would be Chrome.
Alrighty. None in melee range still?
No, it is definitely keeping its distance from you now.
Alright. Well, I'm going to hook my third and next to last javelin at it. That's a whopping 8.
That does not hit. You chuck it up and it kind of catches in the rope, so you can recover it afterwards.
Oh, so I have it back?
Well, you'll get it back like once you go to get it. So if you wanted to use it this next turn, I mean, all it would have to do is you'd have to make some movement towards it.
Alright.
So that's it.
Yep, that's all I got.
So brings us back to Oriana.
Since it's far away, I can cast, right?
You can cast no matter what. It's just some spells, if you cast them in melee range, have disadvantage on attacks. It's only about like 20 feet from, or 25 feet from you right now.
Okay, I cast Chill Touch. So 7 plus 6 to hit.
Yeah, okay, so 13 hits, yes.
Okay, so 1d8 necrotic. And that's an 8.
Then that brings us to the remaining Harpy. It kind of looks around like it got its ass kicked by Chrome, and then it got its ass kicked by Oriana, and it looks down at the gnome, and it decides that it's going to try to grab a snack for the road.
Oh.
So it flies down and is going to... I think it's going to attempt to grapple you.
Are we close enough that if it goes on him that we get an opportunity attack on it?
No, because he specifically wanted to stay away from you.
Okay, is he close enough to Chrome?
No, because you and Chrome are like back to back nearly.
Okay.
So it's going to attempt to grapple, which I think is just a strength contest.
Yeah, it's athletics versus athletics or acrobatics.
So its athletics will be +1.
Okay, and I'll go with acrobatics. I crit failed.
Oh, no!
So the Harpy grabs the little gnome in its talons and flies at half speed towards the edge. It has 40 flight speed. It spent about 15 or so getting to him. So it's only going to get about to the edge of the boat, edge of the ship on this turn.
Is it low enough, since it's like gaining height as well, that we could like stop it?
Yeah, it's probably no higher than 10 feet off the deck.
Okay.
And it's like at the edge, so there's like the railing there and stuff also.
Okay.
And ropes. So that's its turn, which brings us to Heki.
Alright. I am going to cast Sleep at level 2.
Okay.
On yourself?
No! No, not on myself. On...
Well, it affects things in an area.
Okay.
So roll 7d8.
Oh, wow.
It's not damage.
Oh, okay.
Alright, so here's 4d8. Ooh. 8 plus 8, 16, 17, plus 3 more.
That's plenty. It works.
Okay. Yeah. Does it also affect me?
Oh, okay. So yeah, finish your roll and tell me what the total is.
Actually, okay, so let me do this again. So it's 17 plus 18, so 35.
So 35. Whatever's left over after the harpy is asleep.
Do you have 25 or fewer hit points?
I have 24.
Oh, no!
You both fall unconscious.
Sleep! That sounds so nice.
So it's just like starting to take off, and then they both just drop.
Yeah. Until the spell ends, the sleeper takes damage, or someone uses an action to shake a sleep or slap the sleeper awake. Okay, so I think this is how this resolves. You both slip into unconsciousness, so you both begin to plummet. Her talons relax, and you both kind of thud onto the railing of the ship, which shakes you awake. So make a dexterity saving throw to see if you can grab onto the ship railing before toppling overboard.
Dang, I was hoping we would just fall asleep. That would be a 19.
That's plenty. Yeah, you grab you get both hands onto the railing, and the harpy kind of flips over the railing and then catches herself on her wing beats. So she's currently flapping like right off of the ship next to you, but it is no longer her turn, so it doesn't matter. So that brings us back to Chrome.
Oh, can I roll a wild?
Why not?
20! That doesn't mean anything.
So I guess you get your Tides of Chaos back.
Yes.
So Chrome, you're about 20 feet away from where he's hanging onto the... Oh no, sorry, you're on this side, so you're like 15 feet away from where he's...
Alright. I'm gonna go up to the harpy, and if it's within reach and range, I'm gonna try to grapple it.
Yeah, it's like just off, like an arm's reach from the ship still, so...
Alright.
You can attempt to grapple.
Grappling... 21.
Its only hope is a nat 20. That is a 12. It is grappled, and there is a lot of fear in its eyes.
And so, yeah, grappling's all I've got on it. That's my turn.
Do you want to spend the rest of your movement?
I guess I'll spend the rest of... Because it was 15 to get there, grab it, and then I can move it back 5, so I can pull it in.
Okay, so you kind of turn and take a step so that it's hanging over the deck in your arm.
Yeah.
All right, then that would bring us to Oriana.
I walk up and touch it and cast Inflict Wounds. 19 plus 6.
That'll hit.
8, 6, and 4, so 18.
It's dead.
Help me!
Oh yeah, are you still out over the edge?
I am, yes.
Okay, I walk over and, pull you up.
Oh, thank you so much.
I would like to medically examine this plagued up harpy.
I guess roll medicine? Or Arcana?
God damn it. It's a nat 1 anyway.
I want to take some feathers and incorporate it into my hat.
You find one pristine harpy feather. They're not huge. It's not like a turkey feather. It's probably it's almost more of like a down on them. So you managed to find one that's pigeon feather sized.
Can we eat this?
Monstrosities, not humanoids, but I don't know if
maybe not the necrotic one. So now can I go up to the captain and be like, okay, now can you tell us where we're going in case you get incapacitated and or die?
He points, and as you see, as you are rounding this treacherous rocky area, he turns the ship towards the cliffside, and there's a big cave opening. It's like a tidal cave, so it's the bottom of it is still in the water, but it's way too small for a ship to go in. So he kind of points to that, and then he points to a dinghy on the side of the ship.
What's in there before we, go in there?
He says, well, I'm no local, but according to the court wizard, that cave is the source of the bountiful fishing in these areas. So whatever is driving people away is likely to be in there.
So you want to go into a bear hole and hope that we can kill the thing that's stopping the fish without any real plan about what it is or how to kill it?
Well, I would have asked the survivors what it was, if there were any.
Heads we go in, tails we just stay out. And I flip the coin.
Make a perception check.
Nat 1.
8.
You see him flip the coin, and you don't quite catch a glimpse of whether it was heads or tails, but he said it was heads, so...
Timira's blessings will be upon us. Let's go.
Alright, so y'all get as close as Arvin's willing to bring the ship up to, and then he lets loose the anchor. I don't know the terminology for ship stuff.
Weigh anchor!
The ship stops.
Yeah, I couldn't remember if weigh anchor was lifting it or lowering it, but he does the second one, and then y'all climb into the dinghy and begin paddling over to this cave.
I am white-knuckling the seats on this dinghy.
Not used to the ocean, are you, big guy? Arvin says.
There shouldn't be this much water.
I mean, he's dense, so it makes sense.
Where did it all come from? Where does it go?
Well, there's a lot of different explanations for that one. It depends on who you ask.
I've seen so much water, you wouldn't even, be able to wrap your head around it. I've seen so much water, more water than you see right now coming down from the sky.
How?
I don't know. Weather.
Make a deception check?
I don't know. It's a 10 plus 5, 15.
That is a 8 insight. Chrome has not gotten out much.
There must be some crazy weather where this little guy's from.
Plague magic.
Okay, I've been working on your nickname. No, don't worry. I'm stewing on it, I'm noodling. And, yeah, you guys will both have nicknames, don't worry. They'll be so cool, that's how you'll refer to yourself from now on.
How far away is this tide pool?
You're pretty much entering it now, and it's pretty dark inside. Arvin left the sailor at the ship to make sure that that's still there when you get back, but he goes ahead and lights up a torch. The water goes for a bit, and then it comes up to kind of a sandy beach inside the cave. And you pull the dinghy up onto the sand, and then you see that there's sconces along the walls, just a few of them. So Arvin begins to go and light the sconces. So you have the one torch that Arvin's carrying, and then he's lighting these as you go. It's not a huge cave. It's not very winding or anything. There's maybe 20 or 30 feet of a path, and then it opens up pretty big, and you can see at the far end of this big room there's a kind of a natural altar with a large smooth rock on it.
Is there any kind of writing?
Make a perception check.
Not nat 20.
It's hard to tell from this distance, but you can see that there's some scratchings on the rock itself. Otherwise, the cave is pretty natural.
So I go up and try to read it.
Okay.
I'd like to use Divine Sense. So, with that, I know the location of any celestials, fiends, undead, or consecrated or desecrated places / objects within 60 feet, not behind total cover.
So you don't really sense any of those things here. You get the sense that if this runestone is actually magic, it's more of a arcane rather than divine nature.
Okay, do I see anything written?
Some magic mumbo jumbo on the rock. But so did you walk forward by yourself?
No, I walked up too.
Okay. Chrome, are you...
I'm sitting wherever the torchlight is.
Okay, Arvin continues around the room. There's 4 more sconces in this room. It gets to the point where the whole room is at least in dim light, and as Oriana approaches the stone, you hear an angry clicking noise.
Can I perception or insight what it is?
You can perception, I suppose.
11.
15.
So, with 15, kind of off to the side of this room, there's what at first you thought was a puddle, but you realize it's kind of an entrance to more of a watery tunnel, and the clicking is coming from there. And even as you're realizing this, a large thing crawls out and is angrily skittering towards the stone. Roll initiative.
17.
Chrome has an 18.
13.
So this thing, from your split-second observation of it, it looks like a giant lobster monster crawling out of this hole, coming towards you menacingly, with 2 giant pinchers and kind of a mouth face full of tentacles. Arvin, with the first in the order, he was like cracking his knuckles, lighting these torches, ready for something to happen, and he jumps right into it. So Arvin draws his, now it says mace, but I'm going to continue calling it a cutlass since that's what we used before, and then rushes the giant monster. So he still gets a multi-attack. So the first one was a 1, and the second one is an 8. So he will not be hitting either of those. He kind of goes to attack it, and this thing has a very hard armor plating around it that he wasn't expecting.
He's been fighting fish, now he's fighting lobster.
Yeah, fish and birds don't really have armor, so that's Arvin. Next in the order is Chrome.
I'm gonna run up and hit it.
You run up and attempt to hit it.
That's a 20, non-nat.
That will hit.
That will be a whopping 7 slashing.
What kind of weapon is Chrome using?
An axe, battle axe.
Oh, okay. Is that it?
I mean, I'm fresh out of spells, so yeah, that's it.
As a free action, can I yell at him to get out of the way?
Do I have enough room to retreat?
Yeah, it wasn't particularly far away from anybody when you ran up. It just will, have opportunity attacks if you do.
I'll duck back 5 feet.
Okay, so still in melee range with it, and Arvin will take his cue from you and do the same.
It's my turn, right?
Yep.
Okay. So, how far away from it?
You're probably 25 or 30 feet.
Okay, so I get within 10 feet of it, and I try to stay away from 10 feet from anybody else, if that's possible.
Yeah, I'd say it's possible.
Okay, and then I cast Arms of Hadar.
Make a intelligence check before you do this.
That's an 8.
Okay, yeah, you do this thing.
15 plus 6 to hit.
That will hit.
Oh, it's not. It's a strength saving throw. I'm sorry. So you have to be at 14.
He rolled a nat 20. On a successful save, half damage, but no other effect. So yeah, so 3d6 divided by 2.
6 and 2, 8.
So he takes 4 damage.
Cool. That was supposed to be a lot cooler, guys. And then I use my movement to get out of his melee range. Or to, back up.
You back up, and he gets an opportunity attack on you.
If I'm within 10 feet of him, that's
He has a range of 10 feet. That's why the intelligence check.
Bleh. Okay.
So he will attack you with a pincer. That is a 17.
That hits.
So that's 2d6. Luckily, that's only a 3, but then plus 4, so 7 bludgeoning damage, and you are now grappled.
I am severely battered, guys.
So that brings us to the monster.
Who's going to squeeze me and kill me.
I'm trying to be nice about this. He's gonna reach out and try to pincer attack the dwarf, since it's the smaller target. And that definitely hits. So that is another 2d6 plus 4. That's 10 damage. And then it is going to reach out with its tentacles on its face, and it's going to tentacle face Arvin, which is a Constitution saving throw. Yep, that makes it. So he resists this tentacly poison attack. And so the monster's sitting there with Oriana in one pincer and with Arvin in another pincer, and its turn is now over, which brings us to Heki.
All right. Chromatic orb. Probably lightning. Yeah, we'll do lightning damage. So I'll roll that. 18.
That hits.
All right. So that's 3d8. So not very good. 9. And then I want to be sure that I perceive that I'm far enough away that this thing couldn't grab me without running through everybody. Alright, I think that's my turn.
No bonus action, no quicken.
No, I have used all my spell slots.
Oh, shit.
Or all my sorcery points, rather. I have 1 spell slot left.
Okay, then it is Arvin's turn. Arvin is currently grappled, so he's going to he's going to attempt to break the grapple. He makes it. So he kind of pushes apart the pincher, falls to the ground below it, and is going to hack away with a multi-attack. That is not going to hit. That is just going to hit. He whacks it for a few damage, gets a little bit of meat between the shell this time, and that's his turn. So that brings us down to Chrome.
Yeah, I'm just going to hack at it. Run up and hack at it. With a whopping 10.
Does not hit.
Nothing but shell. That's the end.
Then that brings us to Oriana.
Alright, can I move towards Oriana's claw, whichever one she's in,
Okay.
to be close by?
Alright, you were already pretty close, so you're basically right beside it now. So Oriana, you can make a check to break the grapple, but I think that will use your action if you do that.
Okay, well, my strength is -1, so I'm just gonna go ahead and attack it.
Okay.
Nat 20.
Nice.
So I was gonna cast Inflict Wounds, so that's 4d10 doubled. 3d10 is 23 plus 6, so 29 times 2.
Goddamn.
Yeah.
What kind of damage is this? Necrotic?
Necrotic.
Oh, it's immune to... No, I'm just kidding.
No!
Okay, you said 29 times 2?
Yeah.
58 damage. I no longer feel sorry for you guys. It is like shocked and angry and hurt and confused and...
Why is it? Oh, hurt as in like bleeding, not hurt as
And
in
a little bit
I was thinking
emotionally,
emotionally.
How could you? I gave you a hug, aren't we friends?
Is that the end of your turn?
If I can't fucking move and I can't attack on my bonus action, then yes.
Yeah, okay. That is the end of your turn then, which
Okay, I feel good about my
brings
turn.
us to the Chul, and it is not happy with Oriana.
Oh yeah?
So-
Not happy enough to drop me?
It is going to tentacle your face,
No!
which is
that
a
a save?
Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Oh, +2. That's not bad. I rolled a 3.
3 plus 2 or 1 plus 2?
3 plus 2.
Okay. You are poisoned for 1 minute,
Okay.
and that makes you paralyzed.
Okay. So I can't do attacks.
You can't do anything.
And do I take any damage?
Not from that! Okay. It is going to pincer attack the paralyzed person for a natural critical hit.
No!
Or an automatic critical hit, I mean.
You don't even have to
Don't
roll.
have to... Yeah, so I still have to roll, but it's unlikely that it will miss, because it's... What's your AC, like 12?
Yeah.
Yeah, it hits, and that's an automatic crit. It rolled a 2 and a 14. So that is 18 bludgeoning damage.
I am now paralyzed and unconscious.
That brings us to Heki.
Alright. I cast Minor Illusion of myself in melee range of the monstrosity. I'm trying to like catch its attention as like a weak target. Like, oh my goodness, what am I going to do now? This thing's going to try to attack me.
So there's an illusory Heki appears between Arvin and Chrome. This thing is going to make a intelligence check, which is 12 minus 3. So yeah, it looks at you and it thinks you're a thing.
Excellent.
Anything else?
I'm going to just move a little closer to the tiefling who's down.
You want to like get right up to her? You're only like 15 feet away from her right now.
Oh, well then, I kind of chill.
Then that brings us back to Arvin, who is going to whack at it again. First attack does not hit. He's getting frustrated. Second attack does hit for a whopping 4 damage.
Come on.
This guy.
Yeah, Arvin's getting, frustrated. It's like chopping down a tree. So that brings us to Chrome.
Would I know that she was poisoned before she was knocked unconscious?
You could tell that something happened. The tentacles touched her, and then she froze.
So did I freeze stiff and then go slack?
I think with paralyzed, it's not like a petrification, so it's more like you went slack with your eyes still open.
Okay.
And now you're extra slack with your eyes closed.
I would say your eyes could still move around when you're paralyzed, so people could, if they notice, your eyes are darting around, that they can see that you're not unconscious. But
Okay.
Go ahead and make a perception check, Chrome.
12.
Okay, it's not hard to see. You haven't run into one of these things before, but it is on its last legs.
I'm gonna whack at it. With a fucking 7.
Well,
God, shit, fucking fuck.
between well, I guess one of those is an illusion and one of them's unconscious. But Arvin's around it enough that you could probably get flanking advantage.
Alright, let's see if this hand wave is in my favor. 11!
Wah, wah. That would bring us to Oriana, who would now make a death saving throw.
9.
That's a fail. That's one fail.
Oh.
Inch closer to death.
That now brings us to the Chew. It is pretty sure you're no longer a threat. It drops Oriana, so it's going to take a swing. It's not very intelligent. It's going to take a swing at the illusion. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and roll anyways, just to see. If he rolls a 1, then he doesn't even hit the illusion. So, okay, no, he definitely hits the illusion, dispels it, and then kind of looks for a second, confused, and then turns and decides to swing at this annoying dwarf that's been slowly chipping away at him. Nope, he does not make that hit either. So, that's his turn. Brings us to Heki.
Alright. Chromatic Orb, lightning damage with my last spell slot. That would be a 17.
That just hits.
Nice. So that's 3d8. Ooh. 8, 15, 19.
In the words of many a DM before me, how do you want to do this?
Ah, yes. So, since it was lightning, I think I just want it to, cook him and, have this, delicious aroma of seafood and shellfish, come from him. And just, I know that it's poison, but I just want it to be, mouth-watering smell.
Your 4-inch ball of lightning kind of Chidoris into him, into his center, and you see convulsions and a little bit of smoke, and then along his back, down his tail, a giant crack forms, and there's basically baked lobster
Yeah.
as he crumples to the floor.
Excellent.
Alright. I would like to dump all of my healing pool into Oriana. 5 to neutralize poison. 5 to give her back 5 hit points.
Okay. You are back to 5 hit points.
Yay, thank you.
And no longer paralyzed.
I hop back up and go look at that stupid rock.
Okay. You go look at the stupid rock.
Does it have anything written on it?
There's some very, very faintly glowing runes. Make a Arcana check.
19 plus 5.
And also, Heki can make a history check.
Okay, can I make a history check with my proficiency or what? My gnome cunning. Oh wait, no. Artificer's lore. Add twice your proficiency bonus to intelligence history checks related to magic items, alchemical objects, or technological devices.
Yeah, this is a history check on a magic item.
All right. So that would be +4. 7.
You almost begin to doubt yourself for some reason, but this is definitely the runestone that the fable of the town's founding was based on. And through that Arcana check, I'd say through your studies, you know enough to kind of very rudimentarily read some of the runes, where it's basically like, good fish here.
We did it!
Arvin's very happy. He's like, we did it! And then y'all pile...
Does he do a happy dance?
He does a little jig, little Carlton dance kind of thing. And then...
Perfect.
No, he's a stoically enthusiastic ex-Navy man. So he's excited about the world, but he's not that exuberant outwardly.
I'm excited for him.
Yeah, Hecky's doing a dance.
Oh my god, you're getting the ship! Ah, it's so wonderful!
Oh, let's go.
I think we ought to take this as much of this thing back as we can to kind of show.
Yeah, is there anything on it that I can, like, trophy?
You guys gather around and take a selfie by the runestone. You chop off the head with the tentacles on it, and...
Can we take some of the meat?
I was going to say, you may be able to take either a bit of the meat out of the split back, or you can, like, pull off one of the pinchers and get the meat out of that when you get back.
Okay, Oriana has been trying to eat everything that we encountered, and now I have cooked lobster in front of me.
Yeah, but you don't have butter.
Oh no!
There might be a larder in this ship. No, it's not that big of a ship.
I'm definitely taking some of the meat with me. Like, a lot of it.
Y'all pack it into the boat. Y'all head back. Well, a little bit of a epilogue thing. So y'all get back to the town with your trophies. You have some harpy. You have some chul. There's a little bit of merfolk fish scales stuck to the ship. And y'all go back to the lord who lives in a lordy place. And he grants Arvin the ship. And y'all get about the starting character level amount of gold.
Nice.
And then, or a couple days later, y'all are gathered around enjoying the many thanks and praises from the local fishermen, and a mysterious person shows up and says, "Good work. I would like to extend to you each an invitation for an opportunity to join our organization of basically adventurers that for hire."
Yes.
Basically adventurers or actual adventurers?
They're basically adventurers for hire. They're definitely adventurers that get paid and get laid.
Yes.
I'm in.
This is like a dream job. Oh my god. I've been working on my CV for this.
And about the time that's going on, he also says he kind of gives you some documents and is like, here's where you need to go, secure your own transportation, blah blah blah. And about that point, Arvin comes in and excitedly proclaims that his new ship is ready to go, and he's ready to see the world.
Hey, Arvin. You want to give us a ride?